Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So last night, we actually finally got an update on when the Battlegrounds store is actually getting revamped. So I have heard this question at least 4 dozen times on my streams over the course of last 2 weeks, ever since Kabam announced it coming soon. So obviously we always are kept guessing how long soon is, because we have some infamous example of bases coming soon, or new masteries coming soon. But obviously, nobody believed it would be that long. However, we still, when Kabam says soon, we have no idea whether it's coming in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or 3 months, or something. Either way, please refer to the below table to see all the goodies in Battlegrounds store as of June 22nd. So that is when the store is getting updated, June 22nd. And that means the store is basically getting updated as soon as the season ends, like a day after the current Battleground season. So the first things first, and this is super important, save your tokens. Unless you are planning to invest them in 6-star shards and 6-star 6 stones, because that price hasn't changed. Super important caveat. So save your tokens unless you want 6-star shards or 6-star stones. I have been saving my tokens. I actually got up to 149k, and then I spent some on 6-star 6 stones, I think, just to make sure I do not hit that cap. But the point is also, at end of the season, if you do receive the season rewards, don't claim them. That's gonna be my plan. I'm gonna finish the season with like close to 150k tokens, or 140 some K tokens, and I'm gonna get my season rewards. And if the store hasn't updated yet, I'm just not going to claim them in order to be able to access all the good goods that we are going to see in the updated store. So, super important, but let's get to it. So what is changing here? And we're gonna take a bit bigger look. Now, I did cut off the picture at the bottom a bit, but it's basically the relic stuff, which is cool if you are into relics. But the most important things, I think, for most players here: 6-star shards, 6-star signature stones, 7-star shards, tier 3 alphas, tier 6 basics, tier 6 class catalyst crystals. And overall, when it comes to rank up materials, it is a massive change and a very good improvement. Because now you will be able to buy 10 instead of current 5 of each of these amounts of rank 4 materials, and they will be 1/4 of the current price. Currently in the store, they cost 4,000 for exactly the same amounts. So they are reducing the price by a factor of 4 times cheaper. They're increasing the quantity by 2. So it means for half the price, you get double the amount of materials. And that means that every single week, you can get 1.5 tier 6 basic catalyst fragments and 1.5 tier 3 alpha catalyst fragments from this store, if that is what you choose to focus on, for a relatively low cost, for like 20k in total. Which would have been, purchasing out one of these catalysts to the max, previously getting half the amount of that. So yeah, the availability of rank 4 materials effectively has quadrupled here by the cost. So that's quite awesome. I do like that quite a lot, and I think it's very, very good. Next up, something that's also very, very good and noticeable is that we're going to have tier 6 class catalyst crystals and selectors. 5% per piece. In total, you can buy 10 of the crystals. So you can get 50% tier 6 CCs spread by 5% crystals. And you can get another 5 selectors, aim basically in total of 25% in whichever class you want. And obviously that is going to be more costly. That is going to end up costing you like 12,000 fragments for the 50% tier 6 CC. However, it is still a very massive improvement, and overall this is probably reliably the biggest source of tier 6 class catalysts that we currently have in the game. So that is absolutely awesome. And the last bit is that you get 157-star hero crystal shards for 1,850 fragments. Now, that however, I think is still quite a bit overpriced. I personally will not be chasing 7-star shards from the store. I will be investing in arc materials. I will not be getting 7-star shards from the store because that would mean that I need to spend 18,000 fragments to get 1,500 7-star hero crystals. So keep in mind that 1,500 7-star hero crystal shards is effectively what, six-star dupes or something like that, and it just doesn't seem worth it if your account's relatively large. It just seems overpriced. So 7-star shards, I think, are overpriced by a factor of 2 or 3. Now I understand that they want to keep 7-star shards super rare and all that, but given the fact that duping a single 6-star gives you significantly more 7-star shards than 1,850 battle chips do, no thank you. Instead of spending 1,850 battle chips, I'd rather spend 2,000 battle chips on, let's say, tier 6 basic and tier 3 alpha fragments or something. And the last bit that a lot of people are quite unhappy with, which actually has given ground to large discussions in the Kabam forums, is the unchanged cost of 6-star hero crystal shards and 6-star signature ones, which is definitely something that's, somewhat unexpected and definitely has left a sour taste in the mouth of a ton of players. Because the entire premise Kabam had was built around the idea that, 6-star shards are extremely abundant, and that's why they're charging us 15,000 shards for crystal. And with all that language there, and I think there's a very good discussion here on the forums, if I can just find it one quickly. Here we go. And it also emphasizes the language that was used in the live stream announcing 7-star shards. 6-star shard availability is so plentiful. Sheer quantity of 6-star shards is just a ton of 6-star shards. You have so many 6-star shards. And with the game moving forward, you would have natural expectation of 6-star shard amounts increasing or the cost of them decreasing due to the fact that such a big emphasis on it was placed announcing 7-stars and justifying the cost increased amount of shards needed for 7-star crystal. And that obviously prompted grounded wisdom to derail the discussion there, God knows where, but the point stands that I can kind of understand why they are unwilling to increase the amount of 6-star shards, because that means that all the players who have big established 6-star rosters right now would kind of feel that everybody building up their 6-star rosters now are having much easier time. So if you were building up your 6-star roster gradually, very painfully over time, and then all of a sudden if Kabam gave you very cheap 100,000 6-star shards every week in the Battlegrounds store, it would demean the work that people have put in thus far. At the same time, I think the bigger issue there would have been the amount of 6-star shards rather than the price. So I can see why they don't increase the amount of 6-star shards that you can purchase and still cap it at 30k. But I do think the price should have gone down. And similar to 6-star 6-stones. Let's face it, 6-star 6-stones are quite plentiful and their value is decreasing. We're getting more 6-star 6-stones in side events. We're getting more 6-star 6-stones in monthly events. We're getting them now from incursions if you play that. And keeping this price artificially at the same level, I think is not a great move. And this reminds me a lot of Glory and Glory Store when Kabam kept the price of the Alliance potions at 260, which is still at 260, and it only heals 9,500. But for the longest time, it was 260 for 6k heal. And Kabam has basically kept to it, except that these potions are significantly less valuable now because they are Alliance potions. And remember, it cost 260 glory for this. It was a 6,000 potion, when it cost 1,000 glory to get a tier 4 CC or tier 2 alpha. when tier 2 alphas were significantly more valuable. And everything else kind of like depreciated, but Kabam kept this potion cost artificially high, even though the champion health pools went up and this potion meant less and less and less and less and less and less. It was just a way for Kabam to manipulate effectively the cost of AQ and you know, milk the most out of players who needed these items. And this is going to be the same case here, where people like me, really, I didn't really buy the 6-star shards there before anyways, and I probably won't. And, you know, I do buy some signature stones, but not like I absolutely have to. I'm not going to mind as much. But the people who are trying to grow their rosters, who are trying to catch up, are definitely hindered most by this. So if you're a very skilled player that has a relatively small account, you often rely on Battlegrounds store to build your account and increase your sig levels to be more competitive in Battlegrounds itself and everywhere else in the game. Keeping these base fundamental resources at the same level and limiting the growth of your roster is just something I wish Kabam didn't do. I think it's a shitty thing to do. That said, overall, I am definitely still happy with the changes to the store. One thing that I wanted to comment on, the Thronebreaker players, I do not know whether you guys had access to tier 6 basics and tier 3 alphas before, but you guys will effectively get rank 4 materials cheaper than Paragons get them now. So I do think that with introduction of this store, it's going to be miles easier to become Paragon, as long as you play some Battlegrounds for a while. Because yeah, you will still have the purchase limit of 10, obviously whether you will be able to afford it all or not, but if you need 3 rank 4s to become Paragon, this store is going to be a significant help in achieving that. Just putting that out there. But let me know what you guys think, whether you like the changes to the store or not. Which resources are you personally going to be going for? I can openly say that virtually all of my Battlegrounds tokens are going to go for tier 6 basics, tier 3 alphas, and tier 6 class catalysts. That's pretty much all I'm going to be getting. Maybe some 6 ones now and then. But that's about it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to catch you guys later. Bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about